My personal opinion is that we all have the right to life, liberty, and pursuit of prosperity.
I don't have a lot of love for government, and
those in charge, schmooze and stress.
If we had a big blast, everybody within 100 miles is gone.
But that could be a prophecy when it says temple thou earth.
They don't need government. Government's from within.
When they're not, they're actually doing damage. That's what I think.
It's this primitive voice. It's coming from anywhere. I can hear it in my car. I can do it while I'm driving. I can do it while I'm multitasking, and it reaches right into my brain and gives me perspective. Radio grants perspective.
I'll even sit in the car sometimes till a commercial comes on to finish the segment before I go in and hope that I can come out and catch a little bit more of it before I get back to work.
You know, it's actually kind of wonderful. It's actually very relaxing. You know, you got different cars running back and forth, whatever else, and you're just listening to what's going on out there in the world. You know, things that are just beyond, you know, yourself.
I feel like it's part of me. I feel like the person on the other end is sharing something with me.
For Rush, there was Mills. Before Limbaugh, there was Crenshaw. Hard-hitting political talk and human interest discussions since 1965. Now, Drive Time Live with the Dean of Talk Radio, Mills Crenshaw.
801-254-5855, that is the number. Earlier today we talked about the news story that the animals are fleeing Yellowstone.
The real key, I guess, is you want them to either love you or hate you. Either is fine.
What they're trying to do is they're trying to turn it over to the UN.
China doesn't control the internet. They can't. Like I just told you, no one controls the internet. There is no on-off switch. The red button.
I went away to California for a while, came back, and one of the first calls I got was from a guy who said, "Crenshaw, I've never agreed with a thing you ever said, but I sure missed you." That says a lot, I think.
Yeah, this has been a sad administration, but the thing is, it's not over yet. They've still got almost 2.5 more years of chaos to put us through.
It became the voice of the people. Whether it started out that way or not, I can't be sure, but we got to the point where we were trying to speak for the people. And maybe more accurately, they were speaking through us.
We have an administration that is trying to strangle that very freedom. He wants to give.
We try and bring to the people the stories that major media aren't interested in.
I talked to you yesterday about Obama letting all of the illegals loose, and you thought perhaps it was for votes. And I was thinking about that after I talked to you, and I'm wondering if that's what he's
They
doing.
represent an effete view of the world, and the general public are sick up to here with it. They want somebody speaking for them, and that's what talk radio does. Right now, we have a runaway government. We have a dictator-in-chief who doesn't give a fig for the Constitution. In fact, he has openly said he is contemptuous.
You know, I believe in our founding fathers and what they originally stood for and what they brought about, you know, for America. As you listen to radio, you hear things, you know, you pay attention to the TV, and you're like, wow, this isn't, you know, why are we going this way? Why isn't things happening this way?
Those with power will control them. The thing is, better government is less regulation. Less government.
It's like a newspaper. You know, feed your mind, let you know everything that's going on.
You've been listening to me for any length of time over the years. You know I hold the Federal Reserve in contempt.
It makes my day, and it makes my life feel like it's worth everything.
Desegregate, to bring people to equality.
Oh yeah.
And it was always resisted by the Democrats.
I guess my journey began into the whole civics, history, kind of a poli-science without a degree through KTOK.
You actually shirked the question. You're okay with government taking from one group of society to prop up another?
I think that happens all the time.
Okay, so why are you okay with society just taking from you to prop up themselves?
I find myself interested in aspects that are controversial. 9/11's a big one. You know, what really happened? Another, for instance, is the water, fluoride in the water. It didn't get enough votes, but it still passed. The fact that, you know, we have a Muslim president and we didn't vote for a Mormon.
Well, they took the worst elements of what they claim was George W. Bush's ideas and they put it on steroids. You know, the excessive spending, the continuation of the war.
From what I can tell, and it's just based on the people that call in, if I were to describe our demographic, it seems to be a 30 to 60 years old, not terribly computer literate, easily provoked by conspiracy theory, people who tend to lean right quite a lot. There's very little left-leaning that happens around here.
Maybe some of them are, you know, basement dwellers. I know I'm not. I mean, I have a family and a job and a career. I'm a professional. Yeah. I'm a early middle-aged person, father. I changed careers going through an early midlife crisis. I'm interested in ham radio. I like small hole-in-the-wall restaurants. I believe in the minority of one, the individual.
801-254-5855. Caller, your first name, please.
This is John.
John, welcome.
Thanks, Bill. I know my truck's loud, man, so if I'm too loud or you can't hear me very well, let me know and I'll just hang up. But if they do have a constitutional convention, the three things I want to see come out of it are, first, the balanced budget amendment.
KTOK is such a weird station. I'm probably just projecting, you know. I'm just projecting my own insecurities into the situation. But have you seen the fish tank? You know?
Imagine a point in history, a group of people that find that their social and spiritual and economic practices are at odds with mainstream society.
The world is kind of like a concentration camp, an ideological concentration camp. Not the whole world, but a lot of it is encircled in this fence of ideology that limits people. My purpose here on Spaceship Planet Earth is to run around that fence and find the holes in the fence and then run around and tell as many other people about the holes as possible and just show people the way out. When I go out dressed up in this look that is pretty uniquely mine, nobody else does this. It's this amalgamation of the masculine and the feminine, and I'm breaking copious numbers of rules when I do this. It's a demonstration of the fact that you can create your own reality. You can create your own rules. There is no objective reality.
You learn a great deal of humility in the martial arts. You learn patience, and that helps in talk radio. The concept is that you take the other person's motion. The way we're trained, we don't see a punch coming at us as something that's coming to harm us. Most styles will teach you to block and then counter. We don't think that way. We look at that as a target to be destroyed. All of these so-called powerful individuals are human beings. And as human beings, physically they're very weak, and they don't realize it. They don't realize that in an instant they can be destroyed. And it makes it much easier to deal with people who think they're powerful. because there are different kinds of power in this world. And they don't understand that.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah.
Okay. I've been pondering about this. You know, the Affordable Care Act. They need this to go ahead and pass.
You know, I think one of the problems of today is people don't get involved. Sorry. They think about their own lives, but they don't think about the other things that really matter.
I don't have a degree in political science, but I do have a degree in K-Talk, from K-Talk. You know, obviously it's not accredited, but I can hold a conversation with most people politically now.
If people don't go ahead and give a call, who's gonna, be there to go ahead and really listen or hear that person's opinion?
I feel really fortunate. It's an honor to do a thing where people spend 2 hours of their day letting you in that space between their ears, You
know why I listen to you and all the other ones?
Why?
Because I'm lonely, I need information, and it opened up...
Talk radio is magic because it makes people feel that they are connected. And that's the addiction.
I don't know if talk radio is dying. K-Talk might be dying, but K-Talk might have been dying for 20 years. I don't know. I think that it depends on how politics goes in this country. I think that if we become more communal, and if we have, a diminished sense of that individuality, then I do think that K-Talk will die or change. Or will there always be people who are sitting in their car who will be willing to call in and try to get their voice out? Because let's face it, we all have a story to tell. Everyone's got a story to tell.